The smartest way to do cardio for fat loss and health. Now, on the last video I did was about like powerlifting, which I'm very ignorant to and new to. So, um, but I know stuff about cardio, and I feel like I know way more than Mike because I don't think he does cardio. Um, so let's see if I can help out with this one. Let's see.
If you're doing lots of cardio at 160 or 180 beats per minute for 60 minutes at a time for muscularity, you're clearly making a mistake. If you're noticing that your cardio is giving you a lot of fatigue, it's almost certainly going to be limiting your muscle gains. It's your call for how much leanness you want, how much health you want, at the expense of how much muscle you're going to gain. Getting really nasty with cardio right up front
feels like they messed up on the outer.
You just start running, and you run like 30 minutes per session, 6 sessions a week. You're going to get shin splints. You might up your ankles a little bit. You might burn out psychologically, and everything in between. How hard to go is a test.
I'm gonna tell you this real quick. I don't know if he's gonna mention it or not. If you want to lose weight, especially fat, and be able to do it consistently, walking is king. Walking is king. It'll use your fat energy, your fat stores instead of carbs. Doing stuff like running or hay is gonna use carbs. Carbs will make you tired, and then you're gonna get hungry. But if you just walk, and if it just uses your body's natural fat that's in there, you'll be fine. You have plenty of that, okay? So walking is the easiest to be consistent.
Cure for RP strength. Let's talk about cardio recommendations for everyone in 2026.
Ooh. I wonder if he's gonna rank this. I would rank in terms of cardio, like cardio. Walking is cardio, but not like cardio. For like just pure, like all around jack of all trades, swimming, you'll get your resistance from the water, and then lots of cardio. Biking, biking is a monster. And then I guess we could put running after that.
Should I do cardio? What kind of cardio do I do?
Depends what you need.
How much cardio should I do? All of these are super
depends how much you need on your goals.
These questions often get kind of...
Do you do cardio? Yes, always good. Live longer. If you're walking up the stairs, y'all, if you are walking up the stairs and you're breathing heavy, or even worse, if you're breathing heavy just like sitting at work, something's wrong. Okay, you need to start doing something. What kind of cardio depends on your goal. If it's weight loss, stick with something you're going to be really consistent with. How much cardio should you do depends on your goal. How fast are you trying to lose the weight? Are you training for like a marathon? It all depends on that stuff,
Lazy answer are your goals. Let's get started. 2 things to talk about. The biggest question to ask for how to guide your cardio, and also the variables that matter. The biggest question is your goal. If someone is trying to stay healthy while competing in powerlifting at their highest level, they're going to have very different cardio recommendations than someone who is trying to compete in endurance sport, which is competing in cardio.
You don't want the cardio you're doing to hinder your powerlifting stuff.
So in this video, we're going to split. If you're a weightlifter, you're a thrower, you are someone who is doing powerlifting or just training for as much strength as possible, you're in that category. Next is muscularity. You want to get as jacked as humanly possible and also be pretty lean, but really, really jacked.
Incline walk.
How much cardio should you do? The next category is health. Like you lift, you watch your diet, but like you're really trying to optimize for health, and cardio is a big part of that.
Just do general 150 minutes a week.
Of what type for health? We'll answer that question as well. Second to last is leanness, especially if you don't super care much about how big your legs are. You want to be as lean as 300 minutes. The amount of cardio and the types you can do, pretty high and pretty permissive. And lastly, endurance. If you want to train for endurance, your cardio recommendations look very, very
super program specific.
When we look into each one of these, we are going to be talking about which modalities of cardio are best, the intensities of cardio, the durations of cardio, and how frequently you should be doing them throughout the week. So what you'll have at the end of this video is a pretty decent answer to a whole bunch of questions.
Wait, I've done like track and field, and I've done cross country. What I've noticed for the really good cross country runners, obviously they were like tall and had long legs and their stride was crazy. But what I noticed is after practice, they wouldn't go home and play video games like I did. They wouldn't go to like a pizza buffet and eat or go to 7-Eleven get like a nice slushy. You know what they would do? They would keep running. After practicing all the runs we did, which would maybe range from 6 to 12 miles, they would run again. I don't know how long they would run, but the fact that they would run more, you got if you want to get good at something, be consistent at it and do it a lot. So, I mean, I think that applies to a lot of things. So, I think be like 2 to 3 hours a day. 2 to 3 hours a day. You're trying to hit that like really, really endurance goal for sure.
About how much cardio should I be doing? When should I be doing it? No matter where you're coming from.
You got to get to the point where 6 miles is like,
so,
not 6 miles, but like 2 miles is like,
cardio for strength power.
I could do this backwards, you know?
Weightlifting, shot put.
6 miles is like, oh, okay, easy day.
You can do walking, you can do swimming, you can do the elliptical. The types of machines and modalities you can do is pretty broad.
I don't know about swimming. It depends on how hard you go swimming because swimming can really tire you out. Can really tire you out. If you were to do swimming, well, it depends. If you weightlift in the morning, then swimming at night, okay, maybe. That's fine. Depends how hard you go on swimming. If you swim in the morning and do weightlifting at night, then that's fine. I think you should be fully rested up by then. Swimming, it just depends how hard you go. Walking, elliptical, easy peasy.
Intensity wise, in most cases, you should keep your cardio under 140 beats per minute, which really is pretty low intensity on the cardio spectrum. You should not be
I'd say
getting
probably
crazy
even
out
lower
of
than
breath.
that. I'd say under 130.
The duration should be probably under about 30 minutes at a time when you're doing your cardio sessions, and you can do your cardio sessions up to 3 to 6 times per week.
You could low-key just do it every day.
The real unlock here is this: gains in strength and expressions of strength. Even though that's the top end and it's going to cost you very little, it'll probably cost you something. So as an athlete, you have to determine where between just 8,000 steps a day and 8,000 plus more cardio is something you're comfortable with. None of them are going to be the wrong answer, but you have to find
the 8,000 steps depends on like where you are as your baseline for steps. So like say you right now you do 7K, then just doing an extra 1,000 is like nothing.
Cardio for muscularity. Get than muscle fiber type. So explosive, super athletic requirements for strength power require less cardio, can tolerate less cardio than sheer muscularity. Frequency, you could do 3 to 7 times per week. So you could potentially go on a 60-minute, pretty fast walk 7 times a week, and it'll probably just
still think you could have done every day for the other one too.
Here again, there's a simple shortcut. 8 to 12,000 steps per day is really good, and some tougher cardio is okay. But if you're noticing that your cardio is giving you a lot of fatigue, it's almost certainly going to be limiting your muscle gains. So here, between just 8 to 12,000 steps a day and up to 7 60-minute sessions within reason at
assuming Mr. Mike is talking about cardio, but just walking and not running, you shouldn't be fatigued from walking unless you're just doing lots of incline. But that ties into the BPM. So if you're just walking, there's no way you should be hitting over 130 beats per minute just walking. Even fast walks. Yeah, no. You'd have to hit a lot of hilly hills.
Relatively low. Any modality is fine for cardio for health, including sport and dance and the whole situation. Intensity, every intensity from 120 beats per minute all the way up to 200 beats per minute is totally awesome for your health, and you could be including a little bit of each of those. Duration wise, you can do 15 to 60 minutes of cardio at a time. And you can do this 3 to 6 or even more days per week. Here's the reality. The bottom end adaptive window for getting health effects from cardio probably starts at about 3 sessions a week of about 15 minutes long at something just above 150 beats per minute, something challenging.
If you're trying to do for health, you should at least be hitting at least 30 minutes. At least 30 minutes. Because at least a third of the time, your heart rate's gonna be really low, then it's gonna finally climb up to where it needs to be for the moderate average. 30 minutes for sure, guys. 30 minutes.
That makes you breathe heavy. That's cardio for health. Now, a baseline of steps is amazing, and you should be getting about 10,000 steps a day for
If you're going for health with the steps, if you're just walking, just steps, this is the time where you should add 10,000 from your baseline. So like me, I have a sedentary job where all I do is the entire time. I would probably get 2 to 3,000 steps a day if I did nothing. That's it. That's all I got. So I would add 10,000. So I should be doing at least 13,000. Okay. Or maybe if I want to really have it like a nicer number than 15K, but you should always add 10,000 once you're in this criteria of health, leanness, um, not necessarily endurance. Endurance is definitely more tough for cardio.
some health. But on top of that, 3 sessions, 15 minutes, even 50 beats per minute plus, which is where you start not being able to talk super comfortably anymore. You get a little out of breath. That's what we want. That's going to give you the beginnings of your best health gains. Next, cardio for leanness. Here, when I say leanness, I mean wanting to get as
This is where you're definitely gonna sacrifice some muscle because you're gonna have to do a lot of cardio for leanness.
shredded as possible while maintaining muscle in your upper body and like not so much caring about your legs. A lot of people are in this demographic. Guy who just wants to get shredded for the summer that lives in the city, he just like if he doesn't
Not
have the biggest
necessarily, not like you're gonna lose a lot of muscle, but there's a chance you might lose it if you don't follow the program pretty strictly.
legs in the world, it's just not his problem. But he does want to get shredded and maybe in a short amount of time. All the modalities and all variations are totally fine for cardio. You can get lean doing anything you want. The intensity can be anywhere between 120 and 200 beats per minute. That's totally fine.
It
The
doesn't matter.
duration can be anything from just getting your daily steps in all the way to 1 hour of daily dedicated cardio,
So same
potentially
as
even
the
really hard
last one.
cardio. The frequency can be daily steps again, or up to 6 times a week of hard cardio, which can be 150 beats per minute plus for an hour at a time, 6 times a week. That's going to burn some serious calories. So
Pretty much the same
long
as the
as you
last one.
can recover, doing up to 6 sessions of 60 beats per minute, or sorry, doing up to 6 sessions of 60 minutes each at 150 beats per minute plus, which means like very tough cardio, will absolutely help you get leaner
Does it
and
need to
leaner.
be 150 BPM plus?
Assuming you can recover that you're training in many cases. The intensity for actual training goes between 150 beats per minute all the way up to short bouts of 200 beats per minute in some cases.
Well, I don't know what he means by endurance. Like when I think of endurance, I think of marathon, marathon, endurance, endure this cardio for a long time. And the really good people, the people who can do marathons like easily, they'll maintain like a nice zone 2, zone 3 pace the entire time. Obviously, maybe until like the finish line. 150 BPM, I feel like that's too high for endurance. Well, maybe he'll explain what he means by endurance. When I think of endurance, I think of marathon. Let me know what you guys think when you think of endurance.
The duration here can be 30 minutes for some cardio sessions, 60 minutes for others, and up to 120 minutes, if not more, for very long swims, rides, or runs on specific days of the week. We're not talking about 2 hours of cardio every day necessarily, though some people actually do that.
You should if you're
Frequency-wise,
going
for
for
good,
endurance.
solid endurance improvements at least. And it's a really good idea to switch modalities often, especially to prevent yourself from overreaching on something or from getting injured. So that
I could be wrong. I could be so wrong. But I feel like because he does put running, swimming, biking, elliptical. I feel like the best way to train for endurance is to like let's say for right now I'm using the Zwift bike and I'm doing like 30 minutes of zone 2 and then every now and then I'll do like a little of a Zwift race. I feel like if your base core, you do zone 2 stuff like every day, eventually the RPM that you're doing, the BPM, your wattage, your BPM is gonna lower as you stay at the same spot. That means your body's handling it better. You're getting better. And then every now and then you kind of want to like, let your body know like, yo, I'm trying to still get better. You do like a race or a hard swim or a hard run. kind of see where you're at, see if it got better. Let your body know, like, yo, this is my true goal still, low key. So just remember, I'm gonna still be doing this every now and then. So I get what you're saying, but I feel like if you just keep the same, you stay in that pocket, that zone for more consistently, you will get better and be able to do more. I don't think you have to switch too much. I feel like just one time a week, you just do like a hard race, hard run, hard swim, hard elliptical. That should be fine. 30 minutes at a fast pace. I mean, it depends. So let's say I run, I run 30 minutes, then I get better and I can do run an hour, and then somehow I can get to 2 hours. Then maybe if I can hit 2 hours, then I'll try to do half of that at a higher pace of 1 hour. If I could do 1 hour, I'll just try to do 30 minutes, something like that.
That means sometimes you do lots of running, sometimes you do some running and some swimming, sometimes you do some cycling, and so on and so forth. So it doesn't have to be just one modality. And often, when you're giving your joints a break from running, cycling or swimming are real awesome replacements that still get your system tons of cardio, but leave the joints alone for a bit so they can heal so that next week you can start running again. If you're really interested in endurance training, I highly recommend you get a coach.
For
Me telling you
sure.
things about endurance training is like an endurance expert being like, oh, hypertrophy. Yeah, like, I don't know, like 8 to 12 reps or something, a few
At least
sets,
he's
do
being
good
honest about that.
technique. That's
Yeah.
just about as much as I
I would
know
definitely
about
get a
endurance training.
coach and get a
Get a
dedicated
coach. It's a
program.
big deal if you want to take your endurance training to that next level. Our friends Alex and Michelle Harrison
Same way
are
powerlifters
awesome. You
have a
can find them on
dedicated
the
program
internet.
they
They're
follow.
amazing
So,
endurance coaches. They can help you out. There's tons of other great folks as well. So, TLDR, to sum it all up, for strength and power, just about 10 sessions than just as long as you're recovering. We are interested most on your sleep and on as long as you couldn't running 1,000 steps a day for that territory. And my 2 cents here, cardio is fun. That you're going to have cardio going to be sustainable for you when you like it. If you hate running and you just run all the time, you fucking hate it, and you can't stand it, and you're like, what playlist do I pick? You're probably not going to be running for long. If you
yeah,
love
you're not
swimming and
going
you
to
can just get in the pool multiple times a week and you love every part of
do
it,
that.
yeah, swimming for cardio seems like probably a better fit.
Yeah.
Next, finding what's sustainable for your joints. If you're on the bike and your knees are just getting shredded and you go running and your knees feel great, well, gee whiz, maybe a little less bike, a little more running is a good idea.
Okay. Yeah.
Another one is find you what you can be consistent with. If you love the pool,
Pretty
but you're not
much
going to
what you
drive
find
to the
fun.
pool 20 minutes away, eating a calorie deficit to get leaner, if you have the same number of daily steps as always, you're not burning too few calories on the burn part. And if you're consuming fewer on the intake part, then you're going to almost certainly get really robust.
Yeah. Once you know like the steps that you do, like I do now, you just know I know exactly how much to increase or decrease or what to hit, depending on what my goal is.
Fat loss, you don't have to ask yourself giant questions of like, well, am I just cardio? Getting really nasty with cardio right up front is a bad idea. You got to ease in. If you just start running and you
Always,
run like 30 minutes
you're gonna
per
be hurting.
session, 6 sessions a week,
You are
you're
gonna
going
be
to get
hurting.
shin splints. And someone's like, hey, if you did some elliptical and did some cycling, you could take some stress off the joints. You wouldn't have to be taking all these days off. Sometimes your knees hurt too much to run. You could do the elliptical, but
Technically, it's not wrong to assume that one modality is superior. Um, they each have their strengths. So it just depends what you're trying to be strong at. I feel like swimming might be like the jack of all trades, like the piano. If you learn the piano, I mean, you could low key possibly learn most of the other instruments. Swimming might be the best jack of all because you're definitely building your endurance and you're getting some muscle training at the same time, and you're learning technique. And it's really good if you get stranded out in the ocean or something. You know what I'm saying? Running, pretty high chance you can lose some muscle or get injured. But being able to run for a long time is pretty goated. And then you got biking, cycling. Man, that's probably if you're trying to get your heart like strong and really be able to just handle that BPM and breathing, then biking is definitely the one. So it's just they each got their thing, and you just gotta figure out really what you like, and you'll definitely be consistent at.
wouldn't hurt you at all. Harder. That's cool and all, but it really mixes your relationship with cardio and fitness.
I think that if you're really gonna go the cardio route and more of the intense one, listen to your body. Don't go all out from the beginning. Take it in, ease in, and do what you can, and then eventually improve a little bit. If you don't have a track stepper or whatever, use your phone in the beginning. Your phone can low key track your steps. So just have your phone with you for one day, see how many steps you get from there. Let's just use that as your baseline. And then from there, instead of just doing a certain amount of steps, do it time. So like, okay, I'm gonna walk 30 minutes. Let's assume that's like 3,000 steps. For me, it's a little bit more because I walk a little faster. I'm like 2.8 to 3 miles per hour for steps. So let's assume 30 minutes is 3,000 steps. You're like, okay, I did 3,000 here. So, bam, combine that and there you go. But not a bad video. I don't think he was wrong on most of the stuff he said. I feel like the way he did the categories could have been a little bit better. Or maybe I'm in the wrong. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not a cardio coach, anything like that. But guys, let me know what you thought about the video. And did you agree with Mike? Did you agree with me? Do you have a whole different opinion? And if you do, let me know what you would do and how you would set that up down in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel and like the video. And until next time, this is Built. Peace.